Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Exact Digital Podcast. Today we're diving deep into the world of digital advertising with a guest that brings truly a global perspective. Alex Lloro, the founder of All Marketing Services. Alex has been in the marketing game for years, specializing in Google Ads, Meta, LinkedIn advertisements with a strong focus in lead generation and conversion rate optimization. He's originally from Spain and he started his first agency in 2008 before moving to the US, where he built a powerhouse marketing firm helping businesses maximize their ad spend and generate real revenue, not just clicks. So we'll be talking about the business side of paid media, the biggest mistakes companies make with Google Ads, and why advertising is more than just keywords. It's about profit. Plus, Alex brings a fresh perspective from working in both Europe and the US, so we'll dig into some of that cultural differences and how businesses approach marketing. Alex, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Kenzie.
Thank you. Well, let's dive a little bit back into your background, your journey. So, your journey is fascinating, from IT to business strategy to running agencies in both Spain and the US. What inspired you to make the shift into digital marketing?
Well, when I got my MBA many years ago, more than 20 years ago, I realized that IT is just one part of a business, but that there is a lot more than IT. When you have a degree in computing, as I have, you believe that no company can survive without IT, that IT is the center of everything. And when I got my MBA, I discovered other things. So transitioning to a more oriented business job, marketing and digital marketing was the closest option to IT. So that's why I was moving from an IT position to digital marketing. And because I always was related to internet technologies, so I knew the world. I designed my first web page back in 1995, so it's been a while, 30 years now. So yes, that's why I decided to make that transition from an IT job to creating my own marketing agency.
That's amazing. Amazing. Because that definitely is the back end of things, and understanding that perspective can be really useful in marketing. How do you tie in the emotional side of it, the storytelling side, since you came from IT?
I mean, in the end, storytelling is the way to convince people in marketing and in what we do. Psychology is a very important part of it. So yes, for sure, crafting the right story, uh, using the right language that the person that you're trying to get to captivate is waiting for. So yeah, for sure, that storytelling is very important in every process in marketing and in advertising for sure.
Absolutely. So that plus the IT experience together makes a perfect storm.
Yes, it is. At least for me, it's been a really nice journey.
That's amazing. So you've worked in two very different business environments, Spain and the US. What are the biggest differences in how companies approach marketing in each country?
I mean, it's completely different. Maybe that mindset, and I hopefully expect that it has changed. But the mindset in the US is, since you are a little boy, you are oriented to business, selling lemonade. In Spain, we are much more conservative, and in the way they teach college and everything is completely different. So, in Spain, people expect to get business without spending money or not much money. Here in the US, people is aware that they need to spend money to make more money. So that is for me the huge difference, and obviously, the bigger the budget you are managing, the better results you can get, and those results can get sooner. So that's for me the big difference.
Absolutely. I feel like sometimes people forget how much of an investment marketing can be for their company. I think here in the US, we're better about it. Maybe. I don't know. I've never lived in another country, so I wouldn't be the right person to talk about that. But I think still here, sometimes we struggle to understand that. And it's a scary process because you don't see that money come back immediately. It's not an ATM where you're just pulling money
Mhm.
out, but it's an investment in your brand's awareness. And obviously, leads are a really important part of that, but that comes when you talk about the whole marketing funnel and really understanding your brand. If you think about things like Coca-Cola or Apple or big companies like that, they all started from somewhere. And what is one thing that we all know about them? Their advertising.
Mhm. Yeah,
So if
exactly.
they wouldn't have been like the way that they were, it may not have brought them to where they are now.
Mhm. I completely agree with that. But yes, managing those expectations, I'm investing five, I want 20. Mm, Sometimes it takes time and people don't have that patience. And that's one of the main shifts that I did with All Marketing Services. We started as a full stack digital marketing agency. We were offering SEO, advertising, of course. We stopped offering SEO because managing those expectations, convincing people that you have to wait a few months before you start seeing the first results, was really challenging, and more with small businesses. With big companies that have a bigger budget is easier. But even with that, I realized that focusing more on advertising was, at least for us, was a better idea.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. It's good when you can find what you know you're good at and stick with that and become the expert there and potentially work together with other agencies or organizations that are experts in that situation and maybe become a machine of sorts together. So it's all about helping each other out and investing in each other's minds and ideas and connecting.
No, that's true. And people see other agencies as their enemies, and it's not true. I
Mm.
mean, I'm getting better results for my clients with SEO, referring them to our real agency that does only SEO, that they are really good at that. That's what I could bring to those clients. So why not collaborate with other agencies? It makes no sense to me.
Absolutely. So, what would you say is your main pillars? Like, what would you present as your biggest strengths?
Maybe because I have created several businesses over the years. I have always the business in mind, a business decision. So probably that's a little bit different from other agencies that they have a marketing degree, they focus on marketing. For me, business first, profit, revenue first, and then comes everything else. But you have to learn your client business, how they do things, their industry, to understand and to provide them with the better results.
No, absolutely. So, you mentioned that 80% of your business is Google Ads, but
Yeah.
most people think Google Ads is just about the keywords, and you see it really differently. Can you explain your approach?
I mean, keywords are just a small part. Just looking at Google is the first step in the process, but that is just the beginning. It's maybe a 5 or 10% of the process. The real magic happens when people click on the ad and they are brought to a landing page, a website. That's where everything happens. You can bring thousands of clicks, but if your landing page, if your website is not working properly, is not showing what you are expecting when visiting that web page, you are spending a lot of money on clicks that are worth nothing. So that connection between the ads and the landing pages is for me the most important thing. And that's why, for me, advertising without conversion rate optimization, without the user experience on the landing pages, makes no sense. That's why we include in our services both advertising management and conversion rate optimization, because most of the time the improvements happens on the landing page on your website and not on Google Ads.
Absolutely. It's making sure that you have yourself set up for success on the other end.
Exactly.
So, would you say that's some people's biggest mistakes in business when running Google Ads, or do you think that there's another one that you would specifically focus
I
on?
mean, for me, that's the biggest one. Obviously, there are many ways to optimize a campaign, but landing pages is where I see that most companies are making the biggest mistakes. Sending the traffic to the home page or the service page if you're looking for a plumber in DC, and just entering the page where it's a generic page, not oriented to convert, it's just informational, a lot of content. I don't need a lot of content. I'm looking for a plumber. Convince me that you are the right choice. Show me that you have good reviews. Show me just 3, 4 things. I don't need more to convince me in 10 seconds that I need to call you or schedule in a visit. That's all you need in a landing page. So
Right.
focus on that conversion that you want to happen on that page, not showing something generic that if you show something generic, it's like, okay, what's the difference between this 100 competitors?
Absolutely. So, the idea of surfing the internet doesn't necessarily apply as much as it used to, because when you land on a landing page and there's no conversion, form fill, any reviews or anything that keeps them there, they're going to get lost or tune out, get distracted by something else. They might start scrolling on the pictures that are on your website or whatever it may be, and then something catches their attention. You need to get them very quickly so that someone doesn't get confused. And you can look at it a different way. If you're trying to run an awareness campaign, then maybe yes, you can land them on your homepage and but have your story there on the homepage. But if your goal is lead generation and you're landing on the homepage, it's not very strategized.
Yeah, and you mentioned something that there is no way to convert. But sometimes it happens the opposite. Over work landing pages with 3, 4 different options. Call us, schedule a demo, start a free trial. Okay, you get free. Says, okay, what should I do now? Call them, book the demo, start a free trial. No. What is the goal of your campaign? You want free trials, you want demos, you want phone calls. And focus on that only. Don't
Absolutely.
offer many options because it's going to produce dabs on the visitor, and that's not good. Maybe they end up closing that landing page and click on another ad because they are not sure what they should be doing in that landing page.
Right. They don't know what would be the best course of actions, so you're not doing the proper job of laying that out for them.
Exactly. And if you are not sure which option is better for your business, maybe you are a SaaS and, okay, should I offer a demo? Should I offer a free trial? Run an A/B test. 50% traffic to one option, 50% to the other, and see which one converts better. And in the end, which one gets you more recurring clients.
Absolutely. And also, you could turn it into multiple campaigns after the A/B testing if you found that both of them are working and you need some people to sign up for a certain membership, and then you want to pull in new people that are not committed to a membership yet, so you can have those multiple conversion options.
Yes, exactly. And it's not every business and every industry is different. If I'm running ads for my agency, the sales process is long. A company doesn't commit to the first agency they visit. So probably offering an call first or just offering a white paper, download my guide for the best landing pages, just to so they can get to know you, that you are an expert in the field, makes sense. If you're a personal injury attorney, those people had the accident today, maybe yesterday, and they need the attorney right now. So you need to convince them right now. If they close your that page, they are not going to come back because they are going to call the next attorney and sign with them. So depending on the industry, you can define that process, and exactly you can see which options works better. Maybe starting offering the white paper, or maybe scheduling the call with you. You have to test that for sure.
Absolutely. And speaking of testing, a lot of agencies sell conversion rate optimization as a separate service, but you integrate it directly into your ad strategy. What is that, and how does it impact the results?
I mean, the results improve a lot when you are always running tests, not only on the ads part, where you can test, okay, I'm sending the traffic to this, or I'm using this hook to attract the visitor to the web page, but also on the landing page. So you are improving things twice as fast, or 3x times faster, when you are doing SCRO at the same time that you are managing the ads campaign. So for me, it doesn't make any sense to not to use landing page optimization as part of management the Google Ads or any advertising account.
Absolutely. I feel like optimization is the best benefit of digital ads. So it should be included in it, because if the campaign's succeeding, then us as agencies are succeeding, the clients are succeeding. So at the end of the day, it's part of the process. And I agree. We also offer that a part of it. So it's nice to see other people doing that as well. So what is your take on display and video ads for lead generation? And when do they work, and when should businesses avoid them?
I mean, there is no magic rule for that, but in my experience, display and video works more for awareness or top of the funnel. Maybe also for retargeting people that already know your company. You just need to offer them something and a step more on your offer, and for that you can use display and video. But usually I could say that is top of the funnel or is just retargeting. That's for at least in my experience is the way we are using that, and when we get the better results.
Yes, absolutely. And if you think about it, people sometimes don't recognize that top of the funnel awareness can eventually lead to lead generation. But if I'm seeing a Coca-Cola ad, every time I see it, I'm not going to grab and buy a new Coca-Cola. But when I'm in the grocery store, I'm thinking and I see a Coca-Cola and I remember that ad that I saw, or I subconsciously remember it. So it keeps your brand top of mind and helps the user or customer recognize that you're everywhere. You're here in the market, you want to solve their problem, and you want to be a solution for them. So I think that having that full funnel approach is so important. Of course, if you have the budget for it, but it doesn't even have to be that much all the time. It can be more of a broken down plan where you start at the top of the funnel, move to the middle, go to the bottom, do it all at the same time. It really just depends on the client, because no size fits all.
Yeah, for sure. And the client, the industry, but even in the same industry, companies are completely different. So what you are doing for one and getting amazing results might not apply to a different company in the same industry. So every client is completely different. So you have to do different things for them and see which strategy is going to work better for them, and iterate, test, is the only way to to improve the performance and get the best results for your clients.
Yes, absolutely. I completely agree. So, with all of the changes happening in Google's algorithm and AI driven placements, how do you stay ahead of the curve?
I mean, in this world, you have to be reading new things each and every day. New models appearing. Grok appears last week, and they say they are the faster. Then Claude releases their new model, and is faster. And in a couple of weeks, there will be something better with better reasoning capabilities. So you have to stay always learning the latest things and see how you can apply that for your business. And I'm not saying you must use ChatGPT or Claude or Grok or to create your ads, because that won't make you different from any other. You need that personalization, that personal connection that AI, as of today, can offer. Maybe in a few years, with the improvements, they can do that. Then we will be jobless. But for now, that personal touch makes a huge difference.
Yes, I completely you it's very obvious when you see something that is AI, and also Google doesn't like that. It can tell when it's AI and it is not great for your score.
I mean, but even Google, they have created PMAX campaigns to take the money out of a client pocket, and they are generating everything with AI. So when you see a PMAX ad, you realize it's like, no, this is not done by a person. This is AI. And yes, Google wants all the money. They don't want companies to pay a retainer to an agency. We are the enemies. So Google is making things more difficult to us, offering these kind of campaigns that are a black box, that you don't know where your money is being spent. You don't know the search terms. You can access the search terms for a PMAX campaign unless you are using API and a script to retrieve that. And it doesn't make any sense. So at the moment, agencies can still outperform the system and create much better results than something automated like PMAX campaigns or using ChatGPT to generate the ads. And so yes, still we have a lot of work to do on that. Thanks
Yes.
God.
Do you read a lot? Is there a certain article that you read or podcast that you listen to that keeps you ahead of the curve?
Not, I mean, there is always, I use a lot of LinkedIn. I'm connected to a lot of people, experts in the field, so you learn from them. They share content from other people. So for me, LinkedIn is my number one source to get to stay up to date on everything. There are some web pages, search engine land, but usually, LinkedIn is my go-to when I want to learn something new. Just taking a look at my LinkedIn, and there is always something interesting there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know that you recently mentioned a little bit about the hesitation of investing in advertisement, but what would you say to people that need to feel confident in that due to our current economic uncertainty?
I mean, the uncertainty is there for everyone, but what you can do is hide your head in the sand and trying to stay away of the uncertainty. Your company is not going to move if you do that. So, yes, there is uncertainty, but you have to bet. You have to be confident on your business, and you have to stay spending your budget on marketing and trying to get clients, because that's the only way you can grow your company. So yes, uncertainty obviously affects everyone. Not, but I mean, if without marketing, without trying to do something better than in this case that uncertainty, your competitors, there is always someone or something you have to beat. So the only way to do that is with a good marketing effort, trying to get the best of your campaigns and your marketing strategy.
Absolutely. Investments are so important. I always think of it as kind of a snowball. And imagine having a snowball in your hand and you're picking up snow one by one, and the ball is being grown and grown versus taking that small ball and rolling it down a hill. Once that ball starts to get some motion and action, it starts to really grow, but you have to give it that big push first, which
Hmm.
might be scary. Of course, you're giving your money to something, but you have to stay very researched, hyper vigilant, but understand that your company can't grow if you don't take a few risks.
No, that's for sure. I love the example.
Thank you. I always try to, I have to connect things to other things to make sense in my brain. So it's my way of processing.
I like it.
Thank you. Thank you. So you've said before that you'd love to start a podcast, but haven't really found the time. And if you did, what topic do you think you would cover?
I mean, I guess that I could focus more on the psychological thing, on how to uh, help people to make the decision, influence that decision is something that attracts me. So probably talking about that psychology, that's something that it could be really interesting because you can also bring not only marketing experts but more psychologists and people that can tell you different points of view on that and how to influence people. That in the end is what marketing is about.
No, absolutely. That's what I tell people all the time. I say I get to talk and use psychology for a living, which are two of my two favorite things. So I think that would be really interesting. I would listen.
Okay, I will invite you once I start.
Thank you. I think maybe I could be a guest on your podcast.
I know for sure.
That would be fun. So you focus on lead generation over e-commerce advertisement. Why is that, and what makes lead generation campaigns more complex than people realize?
Well, because e-commerce is just a set of products. I mean, there is complexity also managing e-commerce campaigns, but for me it's more challenging lead generation because you have to learn your client business, and that's what I love. Selling clothing, selling, being an Amazon is nice, but learning about how a law firm in the personal injury field works, or how a mortgage broker works, or a waste removal company. For me, that's what attracts me, and that's what keeps me wanting to learn more and gives you a better vision of everything. So that's
Absolutely.
why I try to focus more on lead generation than e-commerce.
Absolutely. And I think that in marketing in general, especially digital marketing, not only do we do our jobs, but we get to learn about every single company that we're working with and the ins and
Mhm.
outs of what make their clients feel a certain way and come to them and their wants and their needs and the problems that they're solving. So it's a really dynamic career for people that like to change their settings, I guess you could say.
Yeah, exactly.
ADHD people thrive.
They do.
So, looking ahead, what are your big goals for all marketing services in 2025? Any new directions or innovations you're excited about?
Just keep on doing what we do. I'm one of those people that prefer to stay small, but offering high quality services to my clients that just um, make growing by 5 times in this year and hire 20 people. I don't think that's sustainable. I prefer to have a smaller number of clients, but offering them the quality of service they deserve. So that's my goal, and how I see things. My goal is not to turn my company into a 100 employees company.
Right. I feel like sometimes when you stay in that boutique agency realm, you can give your clients a more personal touch. But if you need to, you can reach out to other experts to get their partnership of sorts so that
Mhm.
you are still staying that boutique agency.
Yes, exactly. If a client is too big for me or they are asking for things that I can do just an average work for them, I could rather refer those people to a bigger company that can offer all those needs that they have. That's why we specialize now just on advertising instead of trying to be the jack of all trades and do SEO and marketing automation. And I prefer to stay on what we can offer the best quality to our clients.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you, for the people listening, so that they can get in touch with you and know if they want to get in touch with you, how far does your ads extend? So you do Google search and then you do social media ads and LinkedIn ads. Is that where your niche is? Or is there an extension of that?
I mean, we do YouTube, we do display as well, but yes, more our focus is more on Google search and LinkedIn and Meta. But we have done Reddit or depending the client, if an e-commerce brand comes, we will offer them Pinterest, for example, because it might work well for a specific niche in e-commerce. So we will always look for the best option for the client.
Absolutely. I mean, like we've mentioned many times today, one size does not fit all, and being
Mhm.
dynamic and flexible is super helpful for your clients.
Yes, exactly. I won't do TikTok usually, but if I see that for a client is a good option, I will recommend that. But probably in lead generation, it's complicated. And I don't see an attorney dancing or singing in a TikTok video to attract people. So,
That's funny. I don't know if that's how I've chosen my insurance companies in the past, so I think you're right. Uh, so, Alex, this has been such an insightful conversation. I really love how you approach digital advertisement from a business first perspective, focusing on revenue and not just clicks. Your take on Google Ads, CRO, and lead generation has been incredibly valuable. For anyone listening who wants to learn more about All Marketing Services and how Alex and his team can help optimize their ad spend, check them out at allmarketing.co or connect with Alex on LinkedIn. His name will be in the caption below. So, Alex, thanks again for joining me. It has been a pleasure.
well, thanks for inviting me. It's been really funny to have this conversation with you.
Yes, it has. Well, thank you everybody for listening, and I hope you all have a great day.